Busy, 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 but in a good way. Didn't even have time to stop for lunch today. However, here we go. Hello, YouTubers. This is noobifier. Today is the 18th of November, 2022. There was an hour-long Star Citizen live, just called the Super Talk. Here's what you need to know. Jared invited, everyone, and people spent an hour in a general talk. The beginning was basically people talking over each other, and it was super hard to make sense of anything for at least the first 9 minutes. They spoke about the rule of cool versus the balance of reality. They spoke about how important the interior ship flow is. They spoke about their favorite ships and those ships that hit their concept intent to the T. Called out as being the 890 Jump, it was sold as a space yacht, and it's exactly that, a big space yacht. They spoke about the difficulty to qualify how good a ship is compared to another because of the different categories such as cargo, fighter, and others. There are those ships that can do 2 or more things, which also need to be considered. They spoke about changes and updates to the newer ship pipeline. More focus is placed on planning. They spoke about how that changed concepting, and moving forward, they will fill in the known gaps of the fleet: plan, concept, white box, gray box, LOD, and then final art. They all agree that LOD is where the most progress can be made, but they also said it might be the least satisfying part of the pipeline. Jared asked the team if they feel the Star Citizen pipeline is currently in a good state. Many who worked elsewhere in the industry commented that this pipeline is the most all-encompassing and the most technical they've seen. Dave said that there was a new debug tool called the Thruster Grouping Debugger. This helps define proper thruster geometry very early on in design. The tool can tell the developer if the location makes sense and would result in a ship that can fly well. Jared asked how real and accurate the ship designs are, as in the priority between looking cool and being actually physically accurate. John said that the Hornet was a great representation of how a real spaceship thruster layout would be. He then said that others, such as the Gladius, are also fine, but if they didn't fudge some of this a little bit, all ships would basically turn out looking the same. All ships have enough thrust to move properly, but John confirmed, as stated, some minor liberties may be taken throughout the fleet for the sake of better diversity. The game can forgive a slight imbalance, but there's a limit to what the game engine will take, so the ships do have to be very close to accurate. Dave spoke about the Scorpius and the Hull A being technical milestones that he's proud to have overcome. The Redeemer was also highlighted because of its unusual engines. John was asked about challenges, and he said that there are many people in his team and there are deliberate efforts as part of his daily routine to keep progress moving. Many ships mean that adding a new ship to the pipeline must come with an answer to the why. Why must this ship be next? How will this ship add to the fleet? Will it invalidate or diminish an existing ship, or will it fill in that gap perfectly? Jared asked for specifics about what was being worked on. The 600i was spoken about yesterday during ISC. They said that the BMM had a bunch of progress done to it, but it might not be in full production mode, and being alien has its own unique design considerations because of the very pretty style guide. They said that they just released the cutter, and that freed up people to be tasked on the Spirit. The team that worked on the Corsair will be working on ships for Squadron 42. They mentioned some more secret ships. They're at White Box on the Lynx, which takes almost nothing from the Ursa, so it's like a whole new vehicle. They're working on the SRV, and they said it's 2/3 final art and Lot 0 complete. The Vulture is in a good state, but it was held back by salvage. The Hull C is in a good state, but it's being held back by the cargo refactor. Ships used to be released without loops, and that's something that they want to avoid. They spoke about what was called tech debt, which is when legacy tech becomes outclassed by engine improvement. The current damage model from 2016, for example, looked great at the time, but it will simply not work with procedural damage, and thus an entire rework and a change of approach is needed. And that's it. A fun show. Thank you very much for spending your time with me. If you enjoy the breakdowns, please consider subscribing so I can help to keep you up to date. Please consider sharing with a friend or orgmate, as that helps a bunch. Fly safe, and I'll see you in the verse.